time I had the accident, I had just purchased a recumbent bike and was riding the trail. This was like my fourth or fifth time out on the bike. And there's a C&O Canal Trail in Maryland that I rode the canal trail from Williamsport, Maryland to Fort Frederick. Coming into Williamsport, there's a concrete bridge that has seams going lengthwise of the bridge. It also have potholes and rough condition, and the seams are wide enough so that a bike wheel can drop into them. So I had difficulty getting across that bridge, and at the same time trying to slow down, because right after the bridge there's a fairly sharp right turn in the road, and there were a bunch of vehicles coming the opposite direction, and one of those was a full-size dump truck from a rock quarry, and I ended up not being able to make the turn and hit the dump truck on the side, and my right leg went under one of the rear wheels and crushed the bones and everything.
My name is Adrienne Walker Pittman. I was the spokesperson for BWI Airport till January 27, 1996, when a juvenile delinquent being chased by the police hit me while he was driving a stolen car. My left leg was amputated above the knee at the scene, and I also sustained a traumatic brain injury. I was in a coma 15 days, to hospital 60 days, and out of work for about a year. And that day changed my life forever. In high school, I danced. I danced a little bit in college, and I really got into African dance. And I don't know, with career and family and life and stuff, I kind of got away from it. But as a result of the accident and losing my leg, I was driven to want to dance again. And I believe that God used the amputation and the new leg and the new life and the new me to show people that you can do what you did before, despite what happened to you. You know, it takes the right tools, the right preparation, and of course it takes Him to make it all happen. And if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be sitting here today trying to encourage you to go on and achieve your dream and achieve those goals. They're not impossible. They are possible.
When I was in shock trauma, the insurance company for the truck called me up to inquire as to how I was. I don't think they even knew whether I was alive. A lot of my friends didn't know I was alive until I emailed them or texted them. They had seen it it was on the news, on the TV news, and I didn't know that until later. But the insurance company for the truck called me, and they called me on my cell phone, so I had their return phone number. And that evening I got thinking about it. I was thinking, boy, if I was driving a truck or anything, and I hit some person, I would be devastated. You know, I think it would bother her more than it did me. Well, a few days later, the next day, I called back the insurance company and I asked the insurance lady, is there any way I can talk to the truck driver? And I told the insurance lady, what I wanted to say to the truck driver. And so a couple of days later, this lady calls me up and she says, I'm the truck driver. And I said, I wanted to thank you for being alert at that time and being fast reacting on the brakes and everything, because my face was right next to your rear wheel, and if you'd been a fraction of a second slower, I wouldn't be alive.
glad that God allowed me to live through the experience, and He sent me support people and persons. I have a wonderful husband and son and stepchildren, doctors and just therapists and just important people in my life that God has led across my path to help me make the transition back to almost who I was. I don't think you'll ever get back to who you were 100%, but the goal in the process is just walking that road, trying to get back to that person. And once you get to that place where you're as close as you're going to get, at least for now, at least what your mind says you think you're going to get, and just being comfortable with the new person that you are.
I'm grateful for every day that I have, and I just take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Yeah, working at I'm trying to build up tolerance to the prosthetic leg, and I spend a lot of time looking at YouTube videos of people with prosthetics and seeing what they can do. There was actually one guy that he posed a question to himself. He said, if somebody came up to me and said, I can fix your leg, you can be back to the way you were before you had the prosthetic, you have your original leg back, would you? And he said, I wouldn't take it. He said, I would keep the prosthetic. So I see that I can do everything with it that I could before. So there's climbing Maryland Heights. There's one trail that's really rocky and rough, and that's one of my goals, is to climb up that trail instead of the easy trail, and be able to do everything that I was doing before.
Just by the what happened to me with that accident, you realize that your life is borrowed. Because who would have known that, I would have been hit by the stolen car, my leg amputated, traumatic brain injury. It just shows you that your life is not your own. It's borrowed, or you're lent to do something for a certain period of time, and then that can change.